Hey everybody. Okay, so just did a live video and started out good and then the picture went out. So, crap. That's all I have to say. But here's a recorded video, so we're gonna do that until I can figure out my video card thing with the broadcast software because that seems to be the issue. So thanks for hanging in. It just everything has gone sideways. It's Mercury retrograde, right? And I don't know, maybe we can use that excuse for a while, but I was supposed to do a live with Whitney tonight, and that went sideways. She had a really rough day. We both did. And so I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. And it didn't work out for me either. So I'm just doing a recorded video. So this is the full moon in Cancer. So if it gives you any idea of what everybody's in store for, this is just one thing. Although I do think this is Mercury retrograde, not so much the full moon. I don't handle Cancer energy very well, especially when it's a full moon in Cancer. So, you know, strangely and oddly enough, um, I'm a little bit shaken, like irritated by all of this, but not really super upset by it. So hopefully you all aren't. So we have a full moon in Cancer today that happened at 3:48 on the West Coast, 6:48 on the East Coast. And this full moon at 27 degrees of Cancer. And this full moon, like every full moon, is opposing the sun. So the earth is in between. And that is a full moon for us. So this full moon is a little bit more interesting because the sun is conjunct Pluto, and so Pluto is the planet of power and transformation. So when you have the sun and Pluto together, things can come out from under, very, very deep under the surface. So things could be revealed to us, or whether those are things that we have been harboring inside of us, or things that are going on around us in our relationships. Can be a lot of different things, but whatever it is, Pluto blows things up and changes things up, and then transforms them. So on the other end of that, it could be in a very different place, very different circumstances, but the idea is that they're better. With the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Cancer, I've been kind of saying, it's sort of like the return of mom and dad, Capricorn being ruled by Saturn, which is the father, and the moon ruling Cancer, which is the mother. So it's all about, could be about our childhood issues. It could be about our actual home and family. It could be in an emotional sense or actually in a physical sense. It just depends on where you're at in your life and what's going on. Whatever happens, whatever comes out of nowhere, whatever we're sat down to contemplate and rebuild, when Pluto touches something, it changes it forever. It doesn't ever go back to the same form that it was before. And so it can be a very deep and very emotional. They can be really huge things. It's sort of like Pluto can cause sort of atomic type events, in our lives. So, we Capricorn wants us to do things responsibly and of integrity, and it Saturn does hand out lessons, but it can also give us some grace. If we've been working all along since the new moon, thinking about what it is that we want to create in terms of stability for ourselves, and responsibility for ourselves, maybe when it comes to our finances or to our relationships, love, or how we're operating in general, out of integrity or not in the world. What did we set our intentions for when the new moon in Capricorn occurred at the beginning of the month? Now we're coming to the full moon, and whatever it is we've been working on or not working on, um, that is the end result, or the net effect now, of what will start to culminate and come out in our lives. So, you know, if we're dealing with relationship issues and things around us are, are going on that are a little strange and a little confusing, things that are very, that we haven't really been able to see. Pluto has a tendency to hide things too until it, comes up to the surface and then blows, and with Mercury in retrograde and Venus in retrograde, which is all about the things that we care about, and how we communicate those things, we could have some tension going on in our thoughts, and a little bit of static in our communication, a little bit of holdback, not just from us but from the people that we are in relationships with. We could see some strange things going on, around the things that we value. We could have relationship issues, people coming back or people going away, and a lot of confusion around all of that. It's like, well, what the heck's going on? If we've been going inside of ourselves and looking at ourselves and, kind of holding back and taking that retrograde space and time to sort of, give others grace as well as ourself grace, and waiting for things to come to the surface, or looking, and really finding out what's going on, but not quite taking action yet. Now is the time where those things will come out, or we have the opportunity to actually start to build something different and move forward. This moon can bring us into the emotionality of that. So, up until now, we've been dealing with all of this practical application. And now we have this full moon in Cancer that says, oh, how do you really feel about that? How does everybody else feel about that? What do I need to take a look at within myself? And what is going on in my life and with the people that I'm associated with that is not, serving me in the right way? What doesn't feel good? Those emotions are coming up now to tell you what's not feeling good, what isn't right for you. And then, Pluto is there with the sun to help us transform that by either showing us what it is that we need to do, or it's a deep visceral feeling that's letting us know what we need to do. So it's a good time to go within ourselves, and if we're feeling emotional, take care of ourselves. Do something, take a bath, or do something out in nature, or something that makes you feel good. Read a book, cuddle up. If you've got animals, go inside, do some writing. Really take a look at what's going on for you and how you truly feel. Unpack some of those things so it can come out of this, that you are in a place where you can clearly see what's going on in your life and in your situations and where you want to go. It's good to kind of go along with Pluto. So like whatever you're feeling or whatever's going on, a resistance usually makes those emotions that much stronger, because, there really isn't anything more powerful than Pluto's energy. So it's very, very strong, and it's there for us. But we sort of have to go along with it. So it's kind of like one of those, go with the flow, go with your emotions, go with what's going on, keep your eyes and ears open, contemplative, and sit back and really decide what your next move is going to be. As these planets come out of retrograde, Venus comes out of retrograde on the 29th and starts to, maybe some of those relationship issues or financial issues start to come to a culmination. And, we have sort of sorted out in our minds and in our hearts, what it is that we need to do, come to terms with, even what our level of responsibility might have been in creating our own situation, and, who is it that we have around us that can support us, or have been supporting us or not. And as Mercury comes out of retrograde and conversations and communications start to flow a little bit easier, we can express ourselves, or think clearly through some of those issues as well. Those retrograde periods can give us time to go into ourselves and contemplate really from our position and our vantage point, and just sort of let everything file away. You can also say that, this full moon is everything you do will come back to you. And, I've been kind of reading and looking at this and thinking, yeah, that really makes a lot of sense. Coming back to you, or coming back to whoever else you might be dealing with. You have Capricorn, the planet of structure and responsibility and integrity. And then you have the moon, which is in your emotions. So have we been taking care of ourselves practically and emotionally in the right way? Have others that we've been in relationships with or associating with doing the same and actually giving us the same? And are we giving that to others? So now is a time where we have a chance to review those things and really decide and start to take action on what it is that that is really true for us, because it's going to happen anyway. If there's anything going on, it's going to happen anyway. So we might as well participate in the process. So hopefully everything is going well for all of you, and it's, nothing super intense. We can also be catapulted towards, something that is, that we've been wanting to create and build, that we're actually happy about. And a lot of times, if we're not feeling happy about what's going on right now, when we get to the other side, like I said, Pluto, when it touches something, it changes it, and it's permanent. It doesn't, it takes it away, and it doesn't come back in the same way that it looked before. So getting to the other side of that, we could find that the changes that occurred, and the things that we went through to get there, all of the work that we put in to get there, was actually what was better for us in the long run. So going with the flow and really taking our part and our responsibility and our emotions and, our lives in general, the responsibility of how we structure our lives, is something that we should be doing now, and will start to show itself in many different ways in the months going forward. So full moon effects is up to 6 months. So keep an eye out for those things. If I'll go through the signs really quickly, and this applies, this will be the area of life for your rising sign. So if you are an Aries, this full moon is happening in your 4th house. So that's the house of the home and the family and your roots and your childhood, anything that brings you back to you and your foundation and your family. If you're a Taurus, this is happening in your 3rd house of communication and siblings, your immediate area. So your thoughts and how you communicate out in the world and how people communicate with you. If you're a Gemini, it's happening in your 2nd house of values. So your own self-esteem and value of yourself, as well as your earned income and your finances. If you're a Cancer, this is happening in your 1st house, which is yourself personally, and how you interact in your relationships and how people see you. So that is the 1st house, 7th house, this full moon opposition. So it is about your relationships. If you're a Leo, it's the 12th house. So it's what's hidden in your subconscious mind, your dreams, and your intuition. If you are a Virgo, it's your 11th house, which is the house of the community, your acquaintances and your friends, any groups or organizations, and the house of your hopes and dreams. If you are a Libra, this is happening in your 10th house of commitment and reputation, public image, and career. It's also the house of the father. So keep an eye out there for anything going on and changing in that area for you. If you are a Scorpio, this is happening in your 9th house of expansion and what's true for you. So keep an eye out for anything there. Are you going to have to stand up for what's true for you? Are people treating you in a way that is in a way that you believe that you should be. It is also the house of spiritual integration. So it's looking at your connection to your spirituality and your overall beliefs and philosophies in life. If you are Sagittarius, it's happening in your eighth house, and the eighth house is what's hidden. It's what's in our psyche. It's a lot of times what we're afraid of and we don't want to talk about. It's the things deep down, in the core of things. It is the house of Pluto. So that could be a very deep transformational. This could be a very deep transformational time for you, Sagittarius. If you are a Capricorn, this is happening in your seventh house of relationships and partnerships. So keep an eye out for something changing or transforming in that area. If you are an Aquarius, this is happening in your sixth house of health and service, your day-to-day routines. So keep an eye out there, Aquarius. If you are a Pisces, and this is happening in your fifth house of pleasure and joy and creativity. It's also the house of children. So keep an eye out for this full moon energy in that area of life for you, Pisces. And that is, those are all the signs. So I hope that this full moon is, you're at least finding some comfort, and if not, comforting yourself. Tomorrow we have Uranus going direct. So with all of these retrograde energies and then this Capricorn energy and now the full moon, Uranus goes direct. It's been squaring Saturn. So we could see some sudden types of events occur in our lives. And, the rest of the month, it's a very active astrological time. So I'd like to hear from all of you what's going on in your life. If you're interested in how specifically these energies are moving around for you and you want to take a look at your birth chart, you can email me at GeminiFire65@msn.com. Or I also have an Etsy shop now. So you can head over to Etsy to Jovi Star Astrology and book a reading there. I would love to read for you. How the energies transit in the universe around our own personal placements and planets can also affect in very significant and different ways these types of things. So, depending on whether you have an active Capricorn house already with some planets in it, or if some of these energies are hitting you on an angle, your ascendant, your descendant, your midheaven, or your immune coli, all of those angles, these kinds of transiting energies can be more significant. And of course, depending on how they're aspecting other energies and planets in your birth chart, can be very telling and specific to your own personal journey. So I would love to help you take a look at that. And again, if you want to get a hold of me and book a reading, I would love to do that for you. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient. I will see you soon, and I hope that the astrological energies are forever in your favor and you're doing well. Take care. Bye.